How's it going, everybody? This is BroncoJuggalo, and tonight I'm giving you the review for the 2004 film Wolf Creek. Directed by Greg McLean and starring John Jarrett as the serial killer Mick. Now, this is not your run-of-the-mill slasher film. This one is a story that is based on true events. It's based on the 1990 backpack killer kills that happened in Australia. So our story is that three unsuspecting hikers, their car breaks down in the middle of Wolf Creek National Park, where they had been hiking, and they run into a jovial, good-natured Crocodile Dundee type of guy who offers to help them out. He gives them a tow, and they trust him to fix their vehicle. He says he'll do it for free. Big mistake. They're all sitting around the campfire having a good time, but you see a little bit of hints of Mick's true nature. And as they all go to sleep, which I believe their sleep was aided by something that Mick put in their drinks, they doze off, they go to sleep, and they all wake up in precarious situations. One is tied up in a storage room. It's two girls and one guy. One's tied up in a storage room, and she manages to escape. The second girl is actually tied up in a garage-looking area, maybe on a lift. It kind of looks like a vehicle lift to me. And Mick is in there toying with her, playing with her. Looks like he's getting ready to rape her. Some things ensue, and the two girls get away for the time being. And they lead Mick on a chase across the outback. The third character, the guy, we don't get to see him at all until the end of the film again. And he is the only one that survives. Yes, I know I'm giving spoilers again, but this movie did come out in '04, and most people have seen it by now. Most horror fans have seen it. This is actually my first time ever watching this film. I'm one of those few people that hasn't seen it, and I wanted to know if it lived up to the hype. I've gotten a lot of questions asking me if I had seen it, how would I thought of it, and in fact, this particular review is going out to my buddy Andrew Bellina, who asked me if I had ever seen it and if I would watch it and if I'd review it. So, big ups to you, Andrew. We don't always agree, but I've got great respect for you, my friend. I was starting to do this film like I always do, listing out pros and cons as I watched. And then I realized something. Because of the nature of this particular movie, it's very hard to do that. It's not your typical slasher movie. It is. They've Hollywoodized it, obviously. Whatever the term is you want to use, Australiaized it, Australia filmed it, whatever. Of course, they made it to where it would be entertaining for people. But with the fact that it is based on true stories and true events, they tried to keep with that true story feel. And that's how this movie feels. As I said, I was starting to list pros and cons, but I decided just to kind of give up on that. And the reason why is because I didn't feel that it was right for this particular film. My first con of this movie was going to be that it has a very, very slow start. About half the movie is just about the three friends having fun and vacationing. Even the beginning of the beginning credits don't roll until like 25 minutes into the movie. It feels like it may be a little less, but it feels like about 25 minutes. I don't have an actual counter on my player that I'm using right now, so I couldn't tell you exactly. But once Mick does show up, you don't get that sense right away that he's bad. But as soon as he starts to tow their vehicle, you get this complete change in atmosphere. There's just something weird about that drive, and it totally changes the mood of the film. And that was going to be my first pro. I really think that in this particular case, in this particular movie, they could have shortened up a lot of that first half. The vacationing part, the having fun part. They could have said what they wanted to say there. They could have shown all that in a lot less time. But it is what it is. I'm not saying I was disappointed by this movie, because I'm not. It definitely piqued my interest. It definitely got me wanting to see more. I believe there is a Wolf Creek 2, and I also have just found out that there was a Wolf Creek TV miniseries type of deal, 8 episodes, that also stars John Jarrett. And so now my interest is piqued. I definitely want to see those. This isn't your typical slasher movie, as John Jarrett uses a lot of different weapons. He uses a lot of guns in this. He uses rifles. He kills from a distance. He kills up close. He does all kinds of things. And it's very much, I would akin it more to, I can't remember what the movie is. The one where they let loose all the humans on the private island and they hunt them for sport. That's what I akin this movie more to. I can't remember the name of it right now. Yes, I have been drinking a little bit. Or a lot. Give me a break. I'm on vacation, okay? Once again, it's late at night. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning here. So, whenever it's that kind of time at night, I don't feel the need to speak very loudly. So, I will raise the volume up as much as possible, so I hope everybody can hear me. I really, really enjoyed the second half of this film, though. I really liked the interactions, and it made me start to think about a lot of things, like what we consider stereotypes and things like that. And I do feel that, and it could just be, maybe this is my own perception, maybe that's not what other people think, but I do feel that there is a lot of stereotypes about Australia. A lot of people from America, in my opinion, do feel that everybody is kind of that Crocodile Dundee character down there. And there really isn't. Um, not, I'm sure there's quite a few like that. I'm not saying there isn't. They had to base that character off something. But I don't feel that that is just the norm for Australians. But I like how this movie utilized some of those things. And it talked about, like, okay, one of the characters in this film, he was from Australia, but he was from the city. He was from Sydney. And he even was thinking, is this guy going to be Crocodile Dundee? He even made the joke, that's not a knife. That's a knife. Or this is a knife, that kind of stuff. And I just, I don't think that it's a harmful stereotype. I just think that it could be misconstrued. Anyways, I don't even know why I'm going off on this tangent here. The movie is good. There is some good violence. There's some decent gore. It's not an ultra gory movie. Unrated edition, once again, got a unrated edition here. It says one of the great horror film heavies of the last 25 years, and that's Quentin Tarantino speaking about John Jarrett. In that, I agree. John Jarrett plays Mick to an absolute crescendo of evil. And I love it. And I think he's awesome. And he is the biggest pro in this movie. I absolutely love Mick. And he makes me want to see the rest of it. He makes me want to see 2. I'm not even sure if he's in 2. But I've been told that he is in the miniseries, and that I definitely want to see. I really liked him. I would put him up there with The Collector. I would put him up there with, I don't know if I'd put him up there as far as, like, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers. But I would put him up there with, like, The Collector. I'd put him up there with Leprechaun. I'd put him up there above Jeepers Creepers. The Creeper, in my opinion, way above. I'd put him up there with, like, the Puppet Masters and all that kind of stuff. All those classics that we love so much. This, and I feel like a lot of people do think this is already a classic. It is a modern horror film, being as it came out after the year 2000. And I will say it is definitely one of the better ones. I am still thinking that it is a little slow. That is my only con, really. It's the only con I have in this whole film. But that's alright. It's not that big of a deal. As I said, they were really going for that realistic, true story kind of feel, kind of vibe. And I think they hit that on the mark. Now, is it the most action-packed film? Not really. But you definitely do get a sense of dread in it. I'm still torn. I think I need to see it a couple more times, honestly. I don't know if it lives up to the hype that people give it, because I've heard such great things about it. I've heard that this is one of the best horror films of the modern era. I've heard that it's, one of the best killers of the modern era. I really like John Jarrett as the Mick. I think Mick is an awesome killer. With that being said, it also kind of sucks that it's based on a true person, because there is a person out there that did some heinous things, and that's not cool. So, anyways, guys, that all being said, that's really my thoughts on it. I know they're a little jumbled, but I guess I'm still trying to work this movie out in my own brain. Maybe after a couple of viewings more, maybe I'll come back into a revised version, or at least give some more thoughts on it. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about it on one of the streams with some of my buddies. Anyways, this is BroncoJuggalo saying thank you again for watching. You all mean the world to me. Peace.